In this tutorial, I will be teaching you on how to make a simple animation with this rectangle right here. We'll be telling Java that we want this rectangle to be moving from the left to the right. Before we begin, make sure that you implement an interface, which is Action Listener. If you don't know what implement does, then I'll explain. This one right here works the same as the extends. So the reason why we didn't use the extends is because that this right here is not a class. This one right here is an interface. So yeah, make sure that you import the action listener from the library. After you get that done, then let's make a timer object. The timer object is the GUI version of the sleep method. So this one right here is good to use for animation. So new timer. So we have to import the timer from the javax.swing. So choose this one right here. Once you're done with that, then we have to type in two arguments. Like I said before, the timer is the GUI version of the sleep method. So let's put it to sleep for like 5 milliseconds. And for the second argument, we'll use the action listener. This right here is referring to the action listener right here. Once you get done with that, then now let's make two variables. So int x and vel x. This x right here represents the position horizontally of the frame or the panel. This right here represents the speed of the moving rectangle. So let's put this as 0 because I want to start the rectangle at the edge of the window. And this right here, let's make it to 2. So let's replace the 30 with the x, so x. And after that, we have to use this variable tm dot start. So this right here is telling Java that we want to start the timer. So yeah, it'll start the time and then it'll start the action listener. So in order to use the action listener, we have to use the action performed method. So public void action performed action event e. Import this action event. Now it's over here. And now let's make the curly braces. Alright, well now inside of this action performed method, we have to type in x equals x plus velocity x. So yeah, x is 0. So yeah, it will be 0. But like if I do like 2 plus 0, the new x will be 2. When I keep going, it'll be like 2 plus 2 equals 4. So yeah, we're telling Java to move the rectangle from 0 to the right. And it's increasing by 2 every time. After every time when 5 milliseconds have passed. So now, after this, we have to type in a built-in method which is repaint, open close parentheses, and a semicolon. So what this method does is that it repaints the rectangle every 5 milliseconds. When the 5 milliseconds is up, then it will repaint it across the screen actually. So now let's run it and see what it looks like. Now we have a moving rectangle. but I want to tell Java that I want this rectangle to be bouncing on the edge of this window, and it'll be coming back towards this side. So in order to do that, we have to use the if statements. So if x x is less than 0 or x is greater than 550. Hold on, 550. Yeah, our window is 600 by 400. The reason why we didn't use 600 is because that this x right here is going with the top left corner of the rectangle. And we have a width of 50 after the x-axis or x position. So we use the 600 and subtract it by 50, we get 550. And over here, we'll use the velocity x equals minus velocity x. So now let's see what happens. Now we have a rectangle that bounces off of the edge of the window. So that's pretty cool. Now let's make let's make the rectangle move from top to bottom. So pretend this is the y. And pretend it says int y equals 0 and vel y equals 2. It doesn't really matter. You just have to move the x to this right here, the y position, so x. And we have to change the height of the, yeah. So it's 400 on the height. So we have to subtract that with 30 since the height is 30. So it'll be 370. Now we have a rectangle that moves from the top to the bottom. And that's pretty good. But you still can adjust it if you want your rectangle to hit exactly on this side of the bottom side of the rectangle. Let's see what happens if we use x 2 times. Okay. Now we have a rectangle that is moving not horizontally, diagonally from the corner of the screen to the bottom. So yes, this concludes my tutorial over how to add animation to your rectangle. So stay tuned for my next tutorial, and thanks for watching.